efficient, and profitable. Head to our website to check out real reviews and testimonials and sign up for a free tech consultation. We can show you where you might be vulnerable, inefficient, or overspending. It's a game changer and it's totally free. Claim yours right now at appliedconnective.com.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Anderson Ford in Lincoln has 2 convenient locations, which means 2 times the customer service, 2 times the inventory, and 2 times the ability to get you in the car of your dreams. Whether you visit us on the north side or the south side, you'll find more selection and a team that's always on your side. When you're looking for a better way to buy your next Ford, visit Anderson Ford in Lincoln, where exceptional service meets unbeatable selection.
All right, Lincoln, if you're a diesel technician who's ready to earn up to $40 an hour and you're tired of working nights and weekends, listen up. Inland Truck Parts and Service is hiring experienced diesel technicians right here in Lincoln, and they're offering what every hardworking tech wants. Monday through Friday hours, no nights, no weekends, and paid training on advanced diesel technology. With 37 locations across 12 states, career advancement opportunities are endless. Start building towards your future and apply today at inlandtruck.com. That's inlandtruck.com. Or text APPLY to 785-369-1320.
Nutrition Authority invites you to check out the top-selling Epic Effects. Epic Effects is designed to help blast body fat, curb cravings, and provide smooth energy so you can cruise through the day. Home of free samples and better than internet pricing, Epic Effects can only be found in Nutrition Authority. For store info, visit mynutritionauthority.com.
If you or anyone you care about is facing a family legal matter, call Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL or visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce touches all areas of your life: your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on. Visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
If you or anyone you care about is facing divorce, contact Cordell & Cordell today. With over 100,000 clients served, we understand the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Call Cordell & Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. That's 1-855-GET-LEGAL. 1221 N Street, Lincoln.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see mostly sunny skies, the light breeze, and very warm temps. And the afternoon high near 64. Tonight, increasing cloud cover and light winds, low around 37. And tomorrow, rain likely throughout the day, be breezy and cooler with the high near 42. I'm meteorologist Kyle Flecker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Tired of your furnace running overtime this winter? Let Heartland of Nebraska Windows save the day. Upgrade to stunning, energy-saving triple-pane vinyl windows installed by their team of experts. Every window comes with a lifetime warranty on everything, all for a price you can actually afford. Free estimates, flawless replacements, and peace of mind from a family-owned business you can trust. Don't wait. Call Heartland of Nebraska Windows at 402-430-3852 or visit heartlandofnebraskawindows.com today.
Planet Fitness has everything you need to start strong, so you can give everything you've got. From plate-loaded strength equipment and functional training areas to treadmills, stair climbers, and free weights. Our equipment is best in class, and our clubs are right around the corner, so you can make this your strongest year yet. Join the club today and save $28 or more when you join for $1 down, $15 a month. Cancel anytime. Deal ends Friday, January 9th. Are you coming? Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet. See club for details.
Hey guys, it's Carly from Boyk Farm Outfitters. With the holidays behind us, our team is already looking ahead to the 2026 season. And to help you get ready, we're hosting our second annual expo at our location near Exeter, January 27th. The expo covers 8 topics that matter to your farm. We'll discuss fungicides in heavy disease environments, liquid systems for your planter and how to choose the right one, how Washington is viewing important ag topics, and much more. Don't forget to stick around afterwards for the happy hour. Check out BlakeFarmOutfitters.com for more info, and we'll see you there.
Welcome to The Drive with Aaron Davis and Nick Sainert. Former football national champion, speaker, and author Aaron Davis.
Pain is a teacher if you use it. And the lessons in the carnage of pain sometimes are elusive. They hide, they're stealth. The work is finding the lessons through the pain. There's always a message in the mess. Depends on if we want to get dirty and look for it.
Nick Sainert.
Driving left side is Boyer, picks up his dribble, looking for some help, decides to go up strong with it, and the layup will rattle home. Jack Riley picks the pocket of B.J. Bradford up the floor to Jack Hostrider. Watch out! Mafisi in the lane, kicks it out. 3-ball, Townsley, right wing, it's good!
It's on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome in. It is The Drive, 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Nick Sainert once again today. No AD, but he will be back very soon as things are on the mend for Aaron Davis. But once again, Nick Sainert with you, and filling in for AD on a Wednesday is my good friend Austin Orman. Austin, thanks for hanging out, my friend. We always look forward to this.
We really, truly do always look forward to it. I appreciate the invite. It means something to get the tap to co-host The Drive. It really does, every time.
I will say this right now. I'm made aware that I was blamed for something in early break without being aware that I was blamed for something, because what those guys like to do, Bill Bush, Steve Sipple, Jake Sorensen, what they like to do, Austin, is they like to attack people when they don't have the ability to defend themselves.
And the quote from out there was, "That's the best time to attack people."
Yes, and that shows everybody the true colors of the early break crew. So, whatever it was that they attacked me for,
we're getting looks from intern Connor over there.
That's fine.
Well.
That's
come
fine.
on, man. You're one of us. You're not one of them.
Yeah, it's wild that Connor was just last week was working with me on Monday and Tuesday when I filled in on early break, and I told them, I said, I have no problem that you guys attack me. Just give me a chance to defend myself.
Right.
Because when I don't have a chance to defend myself, all it is a one-sided story. So there's only one side that everybody can only choose to believe.
Mm-hmm.
I am not responsible for any of the equipment that's not working. I'll just say that right now. So nonetheless,
confirm that it's not your fault.
There's also something to be said about the crew that does that show. A little up there in age, a little older, and technology isn't always the most friendly to folks. And Jake Sorensen is in a 85-year-old man's body, and so just because Jake, there was just a couple days ago, Monday, we experienced this. We experienced this Monday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Monday, Austin and I wake up from a pretty angry text from Jake that was like, "Hey, we need this done," but in all reality, there was an email sent last Thursday or Friday to Jake, me, and Austin. We were all on it. That Jake deleted.
He deleted it.
He deleted it.
Not read it. Didn't just not see it. It was in his deleted folder.
It was there.
Yeah.
We did our part.
We did.
Gracie did her part. We did our part. The communication was spot on from everybody under the age of 34. And then there was Jake.
At some point, you got to ask the question.
You got to point the thumb. Some point, you got to point the thumb. Stop doing the finger. Anyway, I just wanted to move on from that. 402-464-5685, Honda of Lincoln Hotline, Starter Heyman text line, both open for you guys the entire show today, as well as the Starter Heyman Jewelers live video stream, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Allo Cable Channel 961. You can always follow Austin and myself on the good old Twitter sphere, X sphere, Nick_Sainert and Austin_Orman. We got a lot of texts here. Chase B says it's just easier to blame Nick, which is true. John in Southeast Lincoln asks, is it the coffee creamer, Nick? No, it's not. So Bill walked in last week when I was covering the show, Austin, just for context here. He walked in last week and was absolutely stunned that there was no coffee creamer left in the fridge of that him and Jake, I guess, buy on their own. I'm not sure of what's going on. He blamed everybody in the book except for Jake and him. The ones that use
the most coffee creamer?
The ones that use the most coffee creamer. It's just real interesting. And then 8893 says throat punch the breakers. LOL. It might be trending that direction. I don't try to incite violence. Nonetheless, once again, just keep thinking of AD as he continues to be on the mend as he gets better. He got a diagnosis last night. It was basically an inflammation in the lung, so he was dealing with some pain there, got some antibiotics, and he's good to go. So I don't know if he'll be back tomorrow. He might hopefully be back Friday. We'll see what happens with AD. But Austin, you and I, so much to talk about.
Oh, man.
Not only in big picture Nebraska football, Nebraska finally locks down their quarterback in the form of Anthony Colandrea, the UNLV transfer. They also get a couple of more defensive guys. I would imagine that coming up in the next couple of days, we'll see maybe some offensive guys join the fold. We know about a couple of offensive linemen, yes, but at the skill positions, I'm surprised and not only surprised that there hasn't been more attrition, but also waiting to see if Nebraska is targeting anybody at those skill positions. Most importantly, running back is one of those that I definitely want to have a conversation about. We will talk hoops as Nebraska basketball gets one day closer to playing against Indiana. That's a Saturday morning tip-off, 11 a.m. But we have to start with the whole Washington and Damon Williams situation. So if you're new to this, Damon Williams, from what I'm understanding, 4 or 5 days ago, signed a deal to return to Washington next season for Jedd Fisch. Now, last night, announced that he intends to enter the transfer portal, and Washington is intending to pull out all the legal stops that they actually can.
Which is not the first time this has happened to a Big Ten team.
Yeah.
This is what happened to Wisconsin with defensive back Xavier Lucas just a couple years ago. Signed with Wisconsin, said, nope, just kidding, I'm out of here, and made his way down to Miami. Really, nothing came of that, but it was still kind of that first domino. And it hasn't happened much since, or certainly not this publicly, but things get real when it's a quarterback, and a young quarterback on the rise for a program that was just in the national championship a couple of years ago and is still, I think, an up-and-coming program in the Big Ten. It's one thing if Jedd Fisch would have left and taken the Michigan job, and Damon Williams would have left after that. But Jedd Fisch stayed, Michigan didn't hire him, and Damon Williams signs that deal. We didn't get the reported numbers, but for a guy of his stature, you would think it's a pretty healthy deal, pretty good chunk of change.
Yeah.
Well, it comes out now that, oh, just kidding, don't want to do this anymore. I'm going to leave. You can't just do that. You signed something. And this is where college versus pros, you see the striking difference again. We get it. There's tampering in both levels, right? The NBA and in baseball even have the legal tampering period where you can talk before you sign. They know these conversations are happening. College sports either refuses to admit it or do anything about it. If you're Damon Williams, maybe you didn't know this other deal was coming, but
obviously must not have.
Must come out of nowhere. The rumor is it's LSU, and the rumor is it's $6 million. Okay, that's really hard to turn down, even for all the success that he's had at Washington. But what does that say about LSU, right? Sam Levitt was just at a basketball game with Lane Kiffin
when this was all going down.
Yes, at the time this is happening.
Yes,
LSU and Lane Kiffin continue to throw wrenches into the college football sphere. But my point on the pro versus college thing is, in the pros, once a contract is signed, you respect it.
Yeah.
You don't back out. We say, okay, I put pen to paper. I weighed all my options. I'm coming up to a deadline I want to make my decision by, and that's that. That's final. If you want a 1-year deal so you can test the market again next year, you sign a 1-year deal. If you want long-term security, you sign it for 2 or 3 years if that's what the team's offering. But there's just no respect for the process in college football. It may be college basketball,
well,
but
because I think
college football.
I think it's simply because that there is no organized process. At what part does the official process start? Because you can sit here and say, okay, well, technically by rule, Nick, the process should begin on January 2nd. It's not. It doesn't wait for the portal to open. Nebraska, I'll say this, Nebraska probably had Kenny Minchie before the portal actually officially opened.
Right.
I mean, that's just being as transparent and honest as we can. Now, did that end up happening? No. And did the Kenny Minchie situation, is it in any way similar to this? I would say no, because there was no pen to paper. There was no signature. You want to sit there, everybody, AD says it all the time. AD says it all the time. where he's like, I'm not going to count the chickens before they hatch. I'm not going to, expect it to actually happen until they hit pen to paper.
Mhm.
Well, here's the deal. If DeMond Williams is not Washington's quarterback next year, which I don't think there is an avenue realistically in today's NCAA world that Washington can like force him to play. It's just essentially Washington in this situation is going to want their money back. They're going to want out of the contract. And when I say want their money back, they haven't paid the $4 million. It's similar to the NFL or to professional leagues where there's probably a signing bonus.
Mhm.
And they probably expect DeMond Williams, hey, we need that signing bonus back.
We might be getting our first like James Harden style holdout.
Yes.
Right now. Because what I think the NCAA needs to do is block the transfer at this point because he signed the contract. Dude, you signed a deal. Sorry that something came up later. We can't control that. Decisions have consequences.
Yeah.
They do. And now if DeMond Williams doesn't want to play or Washington doesn't feel comfortable with him playing with all this going down, they don't have to play him.
How wild is that to think about?
And it's a sunk cost for them. So at some point, they're like, if we're going to waste a roster spot and this guy doesn't want to be here, I don't know what DeMond Williams is like as a person. I don't know if he would be someone that would tank the locker room and, stir some stuff up, or if it would be, hey, no, you distance yourself from our program. We have to keep you on the roster. Because if you're Washington, do you want to cut him from your 105 and then just let him go anywhere for nothing? Probably not.
Exactly.
Is it healthier for the locker room? Who knows? But that would be letting him win. But you've already sunk some money into him, to your point, I think, with the signing bonus. If nothing else, you keep him on the roster, you don't play him, and you just hope it was a one-year deal. And you hope that there wasn't everything guaranteed, that there are incentive bonuses in there that you got to play this percentage of the snaps. You got to play in this many of the games, barring injury, to be able to meet the full financial expectation. But we haven't seen the details of the contract with Washington.
Yeah.
If it was all that money fully guaranteed, that's a problem for Washington, who then is obviously going to want him to stick around and play. But will his heart be in it if he knew he could have had X amount from Y school?
Well, and frankly, LSU is a much larger institution and football brand than Washington.
Yeah.
So you talk about all the additional things that can come with just the contract agreement, if you will. College football is broken. We all know this. What makes it worse, though, is everybody talking about how do I say this without coming across in the wrong? I'll pivot and go in a different direction here. Washington, this is where we're going to start to see, I think, if they allow DeMond Williams to move and to go to LSU, Austin, this is where I think we're going to really start to see the broken system. Because if LSU is able to make it happen, and maybe they just have to welcome a couple of legal fees to make it happen, guess what? What's to stop any other institution from going after everybody that's already been signed and saying, hey, go ahead. We'll have a not year-long tampering, not necessarily, right? Because teams aren't going to want to bring in. But you basically did nothing by eliminating the spring transfer portal window. You did nothing. Right. Because guess what? If you're crazy, you are absolutely crazy, because the academic calendar matters. Let's not be naive and oblivious to this idea that you don't think places will have conversations with quarterbacks after spring ball to say, hey, you can still enroll in our school for the fall semester. You can get here in the summer, start practicing, and you can be our quarterback because at your current stop. So they eliminate the spring window, but if they allow something like this to happen, universities and institutions and coaches and programs are going to look around and go, okay, yeah, I don't care if Austin signed to Nebraska. I'll go ahead and go grab him, because what are they going to do? I got to pay $500,000 in legal fees? All right, fine.
That's nothing for an LSU school that, let's not forget, did just have to pay the whole $54 million to Brian Kelly.
Yeah.
And who did give Lane Kiffin the fully guaranteed contract with the full buyout, right? Money does not seem to be an issue for them, which now, and they're paying Lane Kiffin's agreements on Ole Miss's contract that he signed with him about the playoff. Yeah, giving him bonuses.
The better Ole Miss does. There is no bigger Ole Miss fan right now than Lane Kiffin.
Yeah. Seriously. So money must not be an issue for LSU, even though, they said, well, we're not going to allow our coaches to hold us hostage like this again. Well, guess what? You kind of put yourself in that position
Yeah.
with Lane Kiffin. But it's different, right? They didn't want to get rid of Brian Kelly. They felt they had to. They wanted Lane Kiffin, and they want DeMond Williams, right? This is a very Yankees move from LSU. Very, very Mets move. Hey, haven't won one in a while. Man, it's been just a few years for them, but they've been up and down. Last year wasn't up to our standards. Come hell or high water, if the only penalties are financial, we'll take the hit.
Yeah.
It's nuts to think about. I don't know if DeMond Williams had a wandering eye and then just signed with Washington because that was the best deal he thought he could get.
Which is a heck of a deal, let's be honest.
Right. He never entered the transfer portal. So it's not like he was out there and Washington signed to bring him back.
Exactly.
He was always Washington's quarterback until LSU, we believe, swooped in with a, supposedly massive offer to try to lure him away. And that's where I would be so curious to know if it is the youths, right? Well, there's just no commitment from them anymore. They're just mercenaries out there looking for the best offer. Maybe it was from DeMond Williams, who, if he's even entertaining the offer, I'm sure there was always a thought in his mind of, okay, what's the most I can get?
Yeah.
But what we know for a fact is that DeMond Williams re-signed with Washington. What else we know is that some other school, presumably LSU, came in and then offered him more money. Is that DeMond Williams' fault for looking at more money? No. That's LSU's fault for not respecting the process, not respecting the contract that he signed, and offering this young man temptation to begin with.
It's just a fascinating little conversation to have because this is a perfect indication of where you're at in college football right now. And all this was going on while Sam Levitt was on campus sitting next to Lane Kiffin at a basketball game. And the way that social media works, you would imagine that Sam Levitt, at some point last night, noticed and read about the rumors. And here's where DeMond Williams and Ellis, this will show the true spineless action of LSU, where if DeMond Williams enters the portal and LSU still elects to take Sam Levitt and DeMond Williams is out there SOL.
Yeah.
That is a true and very possible outcome.
Yeah.
And it's terrifying to think about. And I would imagine that a lot of these guys, you mentioned it, that, DeMond Williams wasn't in the portal officially. Once again, just to provide context to a lot of these situations, just to, once again, hopefully provide some knowledge as well to fans, that guys shop themselves around before they enter the portal, especially top-end guys.
Mm-hmm.
Top-end guys will shop themselves and say, okay, you know what, test my market, essentially, to say, okay, I got 4 or 5 schools that are potentially interested, and this is what the money looks like. Is that more than what I can get at Washington, in this case for DeMond Williams? I'm sure that was part of the conversation. At that time, though, the quarterback transfer market was pretty deep. Like, you look at Sam Levitt and Cole Andrea and Dylan Raiola, obviously, and I'm missing a lot of other ones, but you look at all those and you can sometimes get buried in the sauce. And so, early in the process, when it's such a rush of guys that just enter the portal, you might get buried. And so it probably was smartest for DeMond to sign at Washington, especially for that amount of money.
Oh, yeah.
And then ultimately, now that things have kind of died down and guys have gotten taken off the board and they've found some potential landing spots, now the teams become even more desperate. And that was why, in the next segment, I want to talk about it with Nebraska football, why it was crucial for Nebraska to act swiftly. Because the longer you wait, the more desperate, maybe not coaches become, but programs overall, that includes donors, the ones that are putting the money forth for these quarterbacks, they become more and more desperate, and then they overpay. And as we experienced the last couple of seasons, if you overpay for mediocre talent, it doesn't mean that results will just automatically come.
If it's not LSU, I mean, a lot of people have linked it there, and that's kind of the presumption that I've been making.
Yeah.
Let's say it's not LSU. Could it be like a Miami?
For DeMond
Williams?
Potentially.
If Ty Simpson goes, would Alabama pony up $6 million?
Yeah.
For him?
Which, how
I
weird
don't
is it
know.
that Ty Simpson hasn't made a decision yet?
He's got time, and I get it. Some of the feedback has been, you probably better push it for another year in college.
I would imagine so.
Maybe it's Oregon, right? And Dante Moore has informed them that he's going to leave. And Oregon's like, no, we're going to flex on our brother to the north, whatever
Absolutely.
it is. I think LSU's most likely, but I don't want to narrow in on LSU in case it's not them, because there's plenty of other schools that are in this similar position that would just want to splash some cash around.
And they probably have already tried to do it. We just haven't heard about it.
Right.
I mean, let's not be oblivious to that either. So, that was, I did not want to bury that lead. Damon Williams, I mean, the perfect illustration of maybe where we're at in college football. We always talk about how the college football system's broken, but when you say, we can ask 5 different people and go, okay, well, how's it broken? And one might be because it's because of transfer ability, to where guys don't have to sit out a year. Another person might say it's the NIL. Somebody might say it's the rev share. You'd get 5 different answers, right? Yeah. But here is a perfect illustration in real time of maybe how the system is broken. And so it's not going to be fixed overnight. And I think it's more so, it's probably never going to be fixed in totality, because now that you've allowed this to happen periodically, you're going to experience this, whether it's legal or illegal. And so right now, by rule, I suppose it's a little more legal than illegal, but Washington still feels like they should be able to be some of the beneficiary of this broken deal if Damon Williams does decide to leave Washington. The other part of it is, I mean, Damon Williams, he'd probably be somebody that we'd see represent Washington at Big Ten Media Days next year.
Yeah.
And that's a situation to where if all this comes out, let's say he ends up, hypothetically speaking, staying at Washington, Austin, it just would provide a weird vibe. It'd be a very weird vibe around the entire program, to where if Damon Williams is representing Washington next year at Big Ten Media Days.
You can only say, oh, it's just the day and age, get used to it so many times, because this is something that everyone should agree on is fundamentally broken with the way the system's being run right now. Maybe they can patch things up. Maybe he's back at Washington. But holy cow, how did we get here and why are we still here?
A lot of people asking about Dylan Raiola on the text line. Maybe we briefly give our thoughts on what we think the outlook for Dylan is when we come back here. It's The Drive, 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com.
Nutrition Authority invites you to check out the top-selling Epic Effects. Epic Effects is designed to help blast body fat, curb cravings, and provide smooth energy so you can cruise through the day. Home of free samples and better than internet pricing, Epic Effects can only be found in Nutrition Authority. For store info, visit mynutritionauthority.com.
Bagels and Joe is the best place to start off your mornings, and you can order your breakfast ahead of time on their app. You can't go wrong with one of their great bagel sandwiches or breakfast burritos. Stop by any of their 4 locations in Lincoln and their location in Seward. Bagels and Joe.
Big value and big flavor meet at Wings and Rings, thanks to the all-new delicious Duo Combo. This is the one you've been waiting for. Get 1 half-sized appetizer and 2 entrees with a side for only $19.99. Bring a friend for the best deal in town on any day of the week, during game time, or whenever the heck you want. Their made-to-order wings and chicken sandwiches are waiting for you at their 68th and O and 40th and Old Cheney location. Stop by Wings and Rings and celebrate every day with the best meal deal in town.
Anderson Ford in Lincoln has 2 convenient locations, which means 2 times the customer service, 2 times the inventory, and 2 times the ability to get you in the car of your dreams. Whether you visit us on the north side or the south side, you'll find more selection and a team that's always on your side. When you're looking for a better way to buy your next Ford, visit Anderson Ford in Lincoln, where exceptional service meets unbeatable selection.
If you or anyone you care about is facing a family legal matter, call Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL or visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce touches all areas of your life: your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on. Visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
If you or anyone you care about is facing divorce, contact Cordell and Cordell today. With over 100,000 clients served, we understand the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Call Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. That's 1-855-GET-LEGAL. 1221 N Street, Lincoln.
Hi, I'm Scott Miller, Business Development Officer at Midwest Bank's Lincoln branches. As a lifelong Lincolnite with over 30 years of experience in financial management, I'm here to help your business grow and succeed. My focus is building strong relationships with businesses and clients across Lincoln. Because at Midwest Bank, we believe banking is about people, not just numbers. Visit us at midwest.bank or stop by one of our Lincoln locations. Your community, your bank. Midwest Bank, member FDIC.
This is your year to win way more than bragging rights. At Warhorse Casino, your love of the game could earn you serious cash. The Pro Football Frenzy is free to play with cash prizes all season long, like up to $1,000 weekly, with your chance at $1 million, all while earning tier points and comp points every time you place a sports bet. Only at Warhorse Casino. Wagers may only be placed on Nebraska-based teams when played outside the state of Nebraska. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Gambling problem? Call 1-833-BET-OVER.
MWR, a local company of Lincoln, is proud to announce they are able to offer their own post-frame building packages in metal to anyone desiring a building, whether you're a contractor or a DIYer. They can install your building as always, and they offer multiple different rib profiles and loads of color options, including the wood grain metal at great competitive prices. You can inquire at mwrbuildingandfence.com or just draw your desired building and submit it in their contact us page, and they'll get back to you. Call MWR today at 402-540-8966.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Is your furnace ready for winter? Call Bryant to perform a thorough check for comfort and peace of mind. 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. Whatever it takes.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see mostly sunny skies, the light breeze, and very warm temps. And the afternoon high near 64. Tonight, increasing cloud cover and light winds, low around 37. And tomorrow, rain likely throughout the day, be breezy and cooler with the high near 42. I'm meteorologist Kyle Flecker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
A new year means it's time to try new things. If you haven't tried Führer's cheese spread yet, the time is now. For the days you don't want to go to the gym, don't worry. Führer's cheese spread is there to cheer you up. And for the days you do get to the gym, why not celebrate when you get back with the best dip around? Get to your local grocery store today and load up on Führer's cheese spread. No event or party is complete without it on your table. Tired of your furnace running overtime this winter? Let Heartland of Nebraska Windows save the day. Upgrade to stunning, energy-saving triple-pane vinyl windows installed by their team of experts. Every window comes with a lifetime warranty on everything, all for a price you can actually afford. Free estimates, flawless replacements, and peace of mind from a family-owned business you can trust. Don't wait. Call Heartland of Nebraska Windows at 402-430-3852 or visit heartlandofnebraskawindows.com today.
Now back to The Drive with Aaron Davis and Nick Sainert on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back into the show. 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Nick Sainert, Austin Orman with you, AD, potentially back tomorrow. More than likely, probably back Friday. 402-464-5685, the Honda of Lincoln hotline. The Starter Heyman text line open for you guys the rest of the way here. You can also reach out to Austin and I specifically on Twitter, Nick_Sainert, at Austin_Orman as well. The Starter Heyman Jewelers live video stream, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Allo Cable Channel 961. We talked in the first segment about Washington quarterback Damon Williams, what he is going to do, what the whole situation kind of means for college football. And with that, I kind of talked about how it was important for Nebraska after the whole Kenny Minchey drama to act swiftly, because the longer you wait, and there's such a thing as being patient, yes, but also you can kind of be complacent and lazy and sit on your hands too long, especially around key positions like one at quarterback.
You're only patient if it works.
Exactly. And Nebraska acted swiftly. They brought in a couple of guys to visit yesterday, and they ended up getting a commitment and a signing, I believe, from Anthony Colandrea, the UNLV transfer, a guy, dual threat guy, has 1 year of eligibility left. And Austin, before we talk about the 1 year of eligibility thought, important for Nebraska to act swiftly here.
Yes, the way that everything went down with Kenny Minchey, where Nebraska seemingly sat on its hands without actually finalizing the deal, made it more important for Nebraska to not putz around this time. They didn't. They were on top of it. I don't know how quickly those visits got lined up. Must have been within, the last 24 hours to get a guy like that to campus, and a couple others. So they were working on a Bo Perbula as well from Missouri was rumored to be in town or coming. They're working on DJ Likeway potentially as well. But to have those three, in the process or very quickly, on or around campus, yes, a sense of urgency that Nebraska needed to have and capitalize on, even if I'm not 100% sold on the direction they ended up going.
Yeah. Not 100% sold. That surprises me.
Really?
It does. It does. Not necessarily, not sold on the type of quarterback or the amount of time that he has left.
Mostly the amount of time he has left.
Okay, that does not surprise me as much because let's dive into that, because Kenny Minchey was going to be a multi-year guy. Now does that mean he's going to be here for the next couple of years? Who knows if Minchey would have stuck around. However, we know Colandrea 1 year remaining, right? And so there's a couple of different ways to look at this. One angle I certainly want to take a look at is, what do you think if you're TJ Lateef? Because I think his situation just got a little more cloudy. One is, what does Nebraska do in 2027? And depending on that answer, I think there's a couple of other ways that we can branch off from that conversation. So why for you were you not necessarily sold on this?
Because I think this would have been the perfect time for Nebraska to go get a multi-year guy.
Okay.
To have a true competition with TJ Lateef. You don't bring in the Mountain West Player of the Year to have him sit the bench. This feels right now like Anthony Colandrea's job to lose. Okay, you needed a starting quarterback. At least you thought you did. You need to figure out who your starting quarterback was going to be. I saw enough from TJ Lateef that I thought he deserved a fair chance to compete. And I'm sure he'll still get it. But it feels like the deck is a little more stacked against him, right? Not completely slanted on the playing field, but it feels like TJ Lateef's really got to go out there and be very clearly the better guy. If it's close, they'll give the nod, I presume, to Colandrea, who's a good player in his own right. He struggled with turnovers his first couple years at the Power 4 level. Dropped down to UNLV, absolutely balled out last year. And I'm not worried about the talent, right, or the player. I mean, 66% completion, 3,500 yards, 23-9 touchdown to interception ratio, and that's just through the air. Also ran for 5 yards a pop with 10 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I mean, the stats are good for a surprisingly good UNLV team in year one under Dan Mullen. It's less the player, more the thought process behind it, right? For next year, Anthony Colandrea is probably better than a lot of the ways Nebraska could have gone.
Yeah.
But I just maintain, I just don't know how next year goes very well for Nebraska. And I think it's putting a Band-Aid over a bullet hole in some ways. I think Nebraska, could have done more to get a multi-year guy, which is where I prefer Colandrea to like a DJ Lagway in terms of pure quarterbacking. But if you're building for the future and it's more about gearing up for 27-28, I would have liked Nebraska to have gone and gotten a multi-year guy. That's my biggest gripe, just about the thought process. And if they view 26 as their window, they're all in, they think they can win, cool. They got the best guy they thought they could to help them win, for 2026. I think they're going to have a pretty tough time winning in 2026.
Yeah.
I'd rather let them, let everyone grow, water the flowers in 26 and see what blooms for 27.
So much of the conversation has been about the schedule for next season. Austin, I'll be honest, man. Next year I think that this staff, and this isn't why, in my opinion, they went and got a guy like Colandrea. I think they looked and they said, okay, rather than we don't necessarily have our pick anymore. We knew that everybody knew Kenny Minchey was kind of the guy that Nebraska wanted. And he was going to bring in a true quarterback battle, if you will.
Yeah.
Because I truly believe that this staff probably doesn't want to lose TJ Lateef. And that's not a shot at anybody in the portal. That's not a shot at Trey Taylor in 2027. I just genuinely think that they feel that TJ Lateef, with a couple more months of just repetition and maybe shifting the offense and what they want to do offensively in his direction, I think that they feel like TJ Lateef could be a competent starter at Nebraska. But I think the mentality potentially just shifted from, okay, we can get our pick of the litter right now, and let's go get Kenny Minchey because this is the ideal scenario, to then who's the best player available for us.
Yeah.
And regardless of,
which is what Dana said in his postseason presser. You know.
Regardless of, I don't want to say regardless of money, but I don't think it takes a genius to think that, okay, you know, a guy with the proven ability of Colandrea might demand a little bit higher of a price tag than Kenny Minchey potentially. But either way, I think that you, in this move and in this decision to bring in Colandrea, you have now your 2026 starter already decided.
I agree. And then let's game this out a little bit. So Colandrea in 26, presumably Latif in 27. And this is where
if he stay, like
that's where I'm getting. That's exactly where I'm getting. Because I talked about this with Jay. Nebraska needs a guy or a class to help break that cycle.
Yeah.
And if TJ Latif is that guy, more credit to him. He could be that guy by battling it out, giving it his best, not being okay with being the backup, but accepting his role on the team for this year.
Sure.
Playing in 2027 as the starter to give Trey Taylor time to sit. And then he's the upperclassman with the year of experience, showing Trey Taylor that, hey, you might not want to, but it's good for you. You can succeed if you sit for 2 years at Nebraska. That's hard to do. It is a hard ask.
Yeah.
In this day and age of college football, at a place like Nebraska, I get it. It is
because was that ever the plan?
I don't know, but
okay.
but it could be, right? If you want to be that developmental program, right? You want to be counterculture. It's what it's going to take. It's what you say you want. So do I think that TJ Latif is still here as the starting quarterback for Nebraska in 2028? I highly doubt it. I think a transfer is more likely
27 or 28.
28,
okay.
Because I think if he's on the roster, my guess is he's the starter in 27.
Yep, I agree.
Would that be his junior year?
Yep.
Because he played in too many games. That'd be his junior year.
Yep.
If Nebraska has a senior TJ Latif coming back in 2028 with a sophomore Trey Taylor in the wings, I don't think that's the worst thing for them. Now, it's highly unlikely to happen.
Yeah.
But if you're trying to break the cycle and create that stability and be that developmental program, you find a way without lying to these guys, without giving them empty promises, to keep them on campus. You find guys that truly believe in your process and trust your plan that want to stick around. It's highly unlikely, but if Nebraska is able to keep TJ Latif on the roster for the next 3 years, I think that's a step in the right direction for the program, no matter how unlikely it is.
Yeah, it's a fascinating conversation to have, and I don't think we're going to have enough time in this segment to really talk about it, so we'll continue it on the other side. I just think, when you look at Nebraska and the quarterback situation, Nebraska can't flex like Oregon did with Dante Moore waiting behind Bo Nix. It was Bo Nix, right? Or Dylan Gabriel. Gabriel.
Yeah, Gabriel.
You can't flex like it was like Oregon did with Dylan Gabriel, where it was like, hey, Dante, we're a winning program. Like if Nebraska was competing for national championships, I think they'd be able to break the cycle. And like I genuinely believe that. I don't know if TJ Latif is sitting there and going, okay, I can wait one more year to what? Yes, be the starter in 2027, or potentially in 2026, I can go to a lower Power 5 school and do exactly what I need to do to then hopefully. Will Stein at Kentucky is an incredible example because I think Kenny Minchey. Do I dare say for his development? I understand. I get it.
That's the point. If the other way Nebraska breaks this cycle is they take those lower rated guys that need time, right?
Yeah.
Latif was a 4-star, good, highly rated quarterback commit. Wasn't a 2-star, wasn't a 3-star in the Mendoza style. I know Mendoza transfers.
Yes.
I get what I'm saying here, but either Nebraska is going to keep having to go year by year and Band-Aid it, or Nebraska is going to have to start true freshmen. And I brought this up with Nick Wyman yesterday, texted you and a friend of the show.
Yeah.
Nebraska started 3 true freshman quarterbacks, I think it was in the season opener, in the first 118 years of program history. Then you get Adrian Martinez in 2018, Dylan Raiola in 2023, or 24, 2024. Yeah. And then you started TJ Latif at the end of 25.
Yeah.
That was injury, I get it, but you still had to do it. Trey Taylor comes in, and he starts right away in 27. That's your 4th true freshman
And there's
starter
a lot of investment there in Trey Taylor.
There is. And I don't know how good Trey Taylor is or isn't. I'm less sold on true freshmen being elite quarterbacks. But there's got to be more options out there for Nebraska rather than just, 1-year transfer rental guys or, hey, throw this true freshman to the Lions and see what he's got. Yeah. But it goes back to what you're saying. If you had a proven track record of developing quarterbacks into better players, you'd be more likely to get away with it. But when you're just hoping this guy is good or bringing in a patchwork solution for a year, you haven't earned that benefit of the doubt to do what I'm trying to recommend you do.
Let's take a break there. Let's pause there. We'll come back, pick this conversation back up. Who knows? Maybe we carry it into the 10 o'clock hour. Wouldn't be surprised if we do. We have a lot of texts on the text line as well, about 10 that I want to get to here over the next couple of minutes as well. We'll get your guys' thoughts. 464-5685. Keep sending those in, and we'll try to get to most, if not all of them, throughout the next hour and 15 minutes of the show. Nick Sainert, Austin Norman's The Drive, 93.7 The Ticket.
All right, Lincoln, if you're a diesel technician who's ready to earn up to $40 an hour and you're tired of working nights and weekends, listen up. Inland Truck Parts and Service is hiring experienced diesel technicians right here in Lincoln, and they're offering what every hardworking tech wants. Monday through Friday hours, no nights, no weekends, and paid training on advanced diesel technology. With 37 locations across 12 states, career advancement opportunities are endless. Start building towards your future and apply today at inlandtruck.com. That's inlandtruck.com. Or text APPLY to 785-369-1320.
Planet Fitness has everything you need to start strong, so you can give everything you've got. From plate-loaded strength equipment and functional training areas to treadmills, stair climbers, and free weights. Our equipment is best in class, and our clubs are right around the corner, so you can make this your strongest year yet. Join the club today and save $28 or more when you join for $1 down, $15 a month. Cancel anytime. Deal ends Friday, January 9th. Are you coming? Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet. See club for details.
If you're tired of the dieting circuit paradox but still want to look, feel, and perform better, you need to get to Nutrition Authority and ask about our nutrition coaching featuring LifeBase. LifeBase takes the complex world of nutrition and makes it simple with real results that last. Stop in to learn more or check us out at mynutritionauthority.com.
Bauer Underground has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know that the best workers in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and a pedigree of success. They're offering top-notch benefits, a matching 401k, and a $600 per year clothing allowance. Bauer Underground, a family-friendly company with plenty of room for advancement.
A new year means it's time to try new things. If you haven't tried Führer's cheese spread yet, the time is now. For the days you don't want to go to the gym, don't worry. Führer's cheese spread is there to cheer you up. And for the days you do get to the gym, why not celebrate when you get back with the best dip around? Get to your local grocery store today and load up on Führer's cheese spread. No event or party is complete without it on your table.
Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket immediately after every Nebraska men's basketball game for 1 hour of post-game recap. The Nebraska Basketball Postgame Show is sponsored by Union Bank and Trust, John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electrical, and the Lincoln Airport on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Coppell Chevrolet GMC, the #1 fastest growing GMC dealer in the Omaha and Lincoln area. We are going to keep this train rolling in a big way with new half-ton and 4x4 pickup trucks starting at $12,500 off list price or 0% financing. You heard that right, $12,500 off list price or 0% financing. You pick which one works better for you. Please stop on in the dealership and meet the team or check us out at CoppellCars.com. Stock number C280930. All deals with approved credit.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197. Are you tired of living in pain? At Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery, they make it simple. From head to toe, spine to extremities, they've got you covered. Their multi-specialty team of experts in orthopedic surgery, plastic surgery, podiatry, physical therapy, and occupational therapy all work under one roof to get you back to living life pain-free. Don't wait another day. Visit prairie-ortho.com today or call them at 402-489-4700. Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery, where healing begins.
Hey guys, this is former UFC fighter and mixed martial artist Anthony Lionheart Smith. The Upside Bar and Lounge in South Lincoln is the go-to spot for every UFC event, prelims, and main card. There's never a cover, so make sure you get there early and stay late. Upside Bar and Lounge has daily specials, a margarita club, and a taco club. And don't forget, they just added Buzz Bowls to their menu. Learn more about upcoming events by visiting UpsideBarLNK.com and stop into their South Lincoln location for every UFC event on 27th and Pine Lake.
Big value and big flavor meet at Wings and Rings thanks to the all-new Delicious Duo Combo. This is the one you've been waiting for. Get one half-sized appetizer and 2 entrees with a side for only $19.99. Bring a friend for the best deal in town on any day of the week, during game time, or whenever the heck you want. Their made-to-order wings and chicken sandwiches are waiting for you at their 68th and O and 40th and Old Cheney locations. Stop by Wings and Rings and celebrate every day with the best meal deal in town. If you're seeking a career with a growing company, Gaina Trucking and Excavating is hiring and looking for additions to their team. Gaina Trucking has a strong team culture, competitive pay, 401ks, and benefits like health, dental, and vision. Drivers are guaranteed 40 hours per week, even in the winter months, and are home every night. Start your career today at Gaina Trucking and Excavating. Apply today at GainaTrucking.com. For remote starters, audio upgrades, and more, there's only one place to go. Auto Sounds of Lincoln at 48th and O.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road, just south of 14th and Highway 2.
Now back to the drive with Aaron Davis and Nick Sainer on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back into the show. Quick segment here before we turn the page to the 10 o'clock hour. Nick Sainer, Austin Norman with you. AD back at some point this week as he recovers from just some sickness and some pain. And we obviously hope AD all the best. We're talking Nebraska in the portal right now, specifically the quarterback situation, to where what does this thing look like in 2026, 2027 and beyond? We know Nebraska heavy high school recruiting class in 2027, and I don't want there to be any comments on the text line about like, hey guys, just worry about today or worry about this next year, because I think there is an element of truth to that, of just like, okay, maybe in this day and age of college athletics and college football more specifically, you just have to take it year by year, but that's not the program Nebraska claims they want to be.
No.
And then, so we have to take them for what their words are.
Yeah.
And decipher whether words match actions. That's what we have to do.
That's all we can do. If we don't know everything that's going on behind the scenes, all we know is what they say and what they show. And if that doesn't match up, it's fair to ask why it's not matching up.
We've had a couple of, let's get to some texts before we get to another quick break. We've had a couple of texts chime in about Dylan Raiola. Is Dylan getting nervous about a landing spot? Is there a chance that Dylan comes back to Nebraska? In the very, very small sense and possibility that there was that Dylan came back to Nebraska prior to Colandrea committing to Nebraska, that was basically extinguished with Anthony Colandrea coming to Nebraska. Dylan's days at Nebraska, they're done. The Raiola quarterback situation in Nebraska, it's over, and we have moved on. Nebraska's moved on. Dylan's moved on. Austin, I don't think Dylan's too concerned right now about a landing spot. I think the landing spots, from what I'm just gathering, are from teams that potentially are still playing.
That's the only way he's not panicking right now. I thought there were a couple teams that he could have been a good fit for that had some level of mutual interest, but at this point, it seems like Eugene or South Beach.
Yeah, which I lean Eugene over South Beach.
See,
regardless of what Dante Moore does.
Yeah, I mean, would Dylan Raiola follow the Dante Moore plan if Moore comes back?
I think either way, here's what I would say. I think either way, the Raiola folks are understanding, and maybe this is where their mindset has shifted over the last couple of weeks. It's not so much. I think the mindset maybe has shifted from financial to NFL development.
Yeah.
And
Miami just put Ward in the draft, and
they did.
Beck's going to be a day 2 guy.
They did. I think
Oregon's still better.
Or I think Oregon can pitch that whether Dante Moore's there or not.
I've just always thought Oregon's just a weird fit. I always thought that that was more interest from the Raiola side than the Oregon side.
Yeah, and I
maybe
thought
it's mutual.
I thought it was initially as well, and now I'm not so sure on that.
Which then makes me wonder, okay, if it was from the Oregon side, it must have been a Lanning thing because Stein's out the door.
Stein is out the
door. If it was a Stein thing, maybe Dylan Raiola would have gotten rumored to Kentucky. If Stein really liked him, Lanning's like, okay, whatever, I trust you. But maybe Dan Lanning ends up really liking Dylan Raiola. That's what it is.
Yeah.
I would still lean Miami on this one, not just to appease my next co-host that I'll be on air with in Jay Foreman, but I don't know. It seems like it's those two schools, and either one would be a good fit for him.
Yeah, I think once again is there's understanding that the 3.5 that Dylan was probably getting at Nebraska or whatever the number was, that's not going to be the case at the next stop. And I think I'm pretty confident saying that I think that they're okay with that. It's more so now of these next 2 seasons as Dylan comes back from the injury. He'll be ready for spring ball, but like as Dylan comes back from the injury, like what spot is going to get him the best chances to eventually make the league?
Alabama. Ty Simpson just declared.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Jet Tamala
time, baby.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what Kalen DeBoer decides to do there. Anyway, 402-464-5685, Honda Lincoln Hotline, the Starter Heyman text line open for you guys all show long. When we come back, we'll put the bow on this conversation because I think there was more outside of the Dylan Raiola piece of it. I think there's more regarding 2026, 2027, the outlook there. What does this mean for TJ Lateef? Cole Andrea, more than likely your starting quarterback next season. PCAT on the text line asked in regards to how good these quarterbacks may be or not, should we discuss how good Rule is or not? If that's a conversation you guys want to have, maybe we can have it. We can also break down some other transfer stuff. There is at some point in the 10 o'clock hour, we want to get to college basketball because not only did Penn State almost knock off Michigan, but Austin and I came up about 5 minutes before the show, came up with an interesting exercise that we want to partake in, and we think you guys might like it. So we'll do that at some point in the 10 o'clock hour. It'll only take about 5 to 10 minutes or so, but let's do that here coming up next. We'll wrap up college football on the other side, dive into college basketball later in the 10 o'clock hour, and probably a little bit more stuff elsewhere in athletics. We'll step aside. The drive continues next.
Go Hog Wild Pit Barbecue. Hog Wild has a delicious way for you to enjoy beef brisket. It's our open-faced hot beef sandwich. We start with our grilled Texas toast. Add a scoop of creamy mashed potatoes. Load them up with some tender Hog Wild beef brisket and top it off with our tasty brown gravy. It's absolutely delicious. Hog Wild Pit Barbecue, 3210 Cornhusker Highway in Lincoln.
But don't be late, we close at 8.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
All right, Lincoln, if you're a diesel technician who's ready to earn up to $40 an hour and you're tired of working nights and weekends, listen up. Inland Truck Parts and Service is hiring experienced diesel technicians right here in Lincoln, and they're offering what every hardworking tech wants. Monday through Friday hours, no nights, no weekends, and paid training on advanced diesel technology. With 37 locations across 12 states, career advancement opportunities are endless. Start building towards your future and apply today at inlandtruck.com. That's inlandtruck.com. Or text APPLY to 785-369-1320.
An emergency can happen any moment. Here's a few seconds to think about where you'd go. At CHI Health, we stand ready to care for any emergency. Our specialists provide expert care when you need it most and believe healing is more powerful when delivered with human kindness. When seconds matter, know CHI Health St. Elizabeth is accredited in stroke care and offers the region's only ER just for kids. Learn more at chihealth.com/St. Elizabeth Emergency.
Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket immediately after every Nebraska men's basketball game for 1 hour of post-game recap. The Nebraska Basketball Postgame Show is sponsored by Union Bank and Trust, John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electrical, and the Lincoln Airport on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. 93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL Weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see mostly sunny skies, the light breeze, and very warm temps. The afternoon high near 64. Tonight, increasing cloud cover and light winds, below around 37. And tomorrow, rain likely throughout the day, be breezy and cooler, the high near 42. I'm meteorologist Kyle Fletcher for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
If you're seeking a career with a growing company, Gaina Trucking and Excavating is hiring and looking for additions to their team. Gaina Trucking has a strong team culture, competitive pay, 401ks, and benefits like health, dental, and vision. Drivers are guaranteed 40 hours per week, even in the winter months, and are home every night. Start your career today at Gaina Trucking and Excavating. Apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs, from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
MWR, a local company of Lincoln, is proud to announce they are able to offer their own post-frame building packages in metal to anyone desiring a building, whether you're a contractor or a DIYer. They can install your building as always, and they offer multiple different rib profiles and loads of color options, including the wood grain metal at great competitive prices. You can inquire at mwrbuildingandfence.com or just draw your desired building and submit it in their contact us page, and they'll get back to you. Call MWR today at 402-540-8966.
Lincoln's go-to for fun isn't new. It's a place that's been a staple of the city for years and is only getting better. Matson's Bowling and Billiards always has open bowling available with no long lines, unlike other centers. They have live music almost every weekend and great food at EJ's Bar and Lounge, with seating for 150 people. They have popular meals like the EJ Burger, pizza for the whole family, and famous EJ's Wings. Contact Sarah to book a party for friends, coworkers, or family at Matson's Bowling and Billiards, just south of 48th and Holdridge.
For remote starters, audio upgrades, and more, there's only one place to go. Auto Sounds of Lincoln at 48th and O.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road, just south of 14th and Highway 2. 93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize to participate in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the KNTK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
Welcome to The Drive with Aaron Davis and Nick Sainert. Former football national champion, speaker, and author Aaron Davis.
Pain is a teacher if you use it. And the lessons in the carnage of pain sometimes are elusive. They hide, they're stealth. The work is finding the lessons through the pain. There's always a message in the mess. Depends on if we want to get dirty and look for it.
Nick Sainert, driving left side, his border, picks up his dribble, looking for some help, decides to go up strong with it, and the layup will rattle home. Jack Riley picks the pocket of BJ Bradford up the floor to Jack Hostrider. Watch out! Mafisi in the lane, kicks it out. 3-ball, Townsley, right wing, it's good.
It's on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back in, 402-464-5685, Honda Lincoln Hotline, the Sutter Heyman text line open for you. Nick Sainert, Austin Orman with you. One more hour left in the show before we hand things off to DP and Anthony Lionheart-Smith for Lionheart Live. Nick Sainert, Austin Orman once again, 5685. You can always reach out to us on our individual Twitters, Nick_Sainert at Austin_Orman as well. Okay, let's put a bow on Nebraska football here in the next 10 minutes or so, Austin. As we look forward towards 2026 more specifically, you believed that they needed to go Nebraska would have been better. This set up well for them to go after a guy that was maybe a multi-year guy, had multiple years left. Nebraska goes after and it eventually brings in Anthony Colandrea from UNLV, who has just 1 year left. We know the quarterback room is a little depleted. I wouldn't be surprised if we see them add one more just depth piece.
Marcos Davila type.
Yeah, Marcos Davila type, where you don't feel like he's not going to play. But you lost Jalen Gramstad and Marcos Davila. Who knows what happens with TJ Lateef going forward? If TJ Lateef decides to enter the portal, things look a lot different in the quarterback room because you need to go out and get a competent backup.
With no one in the 26th class
Yes.
to throw out there, even in an emergency role.
Exactly. So I would imagine that we see them add 2 more QBs if Lateef leaves 3. And you're late in the cycle already. It's you're almost halfway through, I guess, the portal.
Well, this is just the entry because guys can sign.
Yes.
As long as they want, based on academic.
Yeah, they can sign whenever, but they just have to enter in the 14 days. But let's talk 2026 because as we were discussing that a couple of minutes ago, somebody on the text on our YouTube stream, let me look on the YouTube. I think it was on the YouTube. Byron said, you have to win next year. You can't have a question mark at quarterback. And talking about that you have to win next year piece of it, I think there's something to be said and some truth to the staff might have started to feel a little bit of pressure towards the end of this year. I think that they understood that this last year, I don't want to say failed expectations, but maybe just wasn't as successful as you hoped it was going to be. And being realistic, you probably left some opportunities out there. And now I think that, not to say that they're back behind the scenes making desperate moves, but there's a lot that's going to be different next year with Nebraska. And I think partially, you just signed an extension for Coach Matt Rule and for a couple of other pieces. But it feels like, once again, next year's another massive year to show once again that this thing is still trending in the right direction, because I think there's a lot of Husker fans that are skeptical.
Yeah, Nebraska feels like it got a B- on a test last year.
Yeah.
Right. The year before, you can say they got.
I love B-, but whatever.
Like an A or an A-, right? First bowl game in however long, and they won it. Last year, it felt like with a similar amount of preparation before a test, Nebraska's grade was good enough, but not good. Because you look at B-, you see B. Okay, it's there's an 8 to start the grade. When you see the minus, you're 1 or 2 points away from a C.
Yeah,
which makes you feel a completely different way. No knock to the people who are fully in the C's get degrees camp. I get it. That's not a knock on anyone who took that mindset. But for Nebraska, this is again where I think it's been important for them to want to control the narrative, which I haven't necessarily seen. And I think that the vibes, at the very least, took another hit with the Minchie decommitment. Because if you're going all in on 2026, then you got to splash some cash around all over the field. You get a couple impact players on the defensive line. You got your 2 offensive linemen in the fold already. You probably go pay for an RB1. Doesn't seem like Nebraska's doing that. So they're going to tell you there's a sense of urgency to compete, and I'll take your word for it. I can be talked into. They understood that, maybe, we do got to start picking it up. But we haven't seen that level of activity right away in the transfer portal. If you were going to be that team getting out ahead of it, getting all these big name players, or, spending all this cash, you would think you would do it earlier than later, because in the transfer portal, you can't really afford to be patient. So either you're going all in on 2026 because you understand the urgency and how important it is, or you're doing a really bad job of explaining how, these guys are guys to get us through, but we are going to focus more on the future. There hasn't been much communication. I get it. The season's over. We hear from the coaches less, but the words, the speech that they had, toward the end of the 2025 season through the bowl game was, we're good. We disappointed with how the year ended, but we're moving forward. 2026 is going to be great. And I know some of that they have to say, But either there's a sense of urgency to win in 2026 and Nebraska hasn't made those big moves and splashed the money around to prove it, or Nebraska is doing what I'm saying in some ways and viewing it as a, kind of 2-year window to get geared up for 27, 28, but just not saying it to the fans, which I wouldn't understand. If that's your plan, and you want to, if you feel that sense of urgency from the fans, but you disagree, say, hey, here's our plan. Hey, stick with us. I know it might not be what you want to hear, but for an organization that has gotten out in front of a lot of narratives and has gotten really good at playing the media game, to not play it right now, maybe you can tell me they're too focused on the transfer portal. Okay, fine, but articulate your plan. Articulate your vision, because then, it's something to be held accountable for. But if you're not all in on 2026 and you tell people that, hey, we're doing what we can for 2026, we're going to be as competitive as we can, but we really think that with this young core, we can compete in the Big Ten in a big way in 2027, fans won't want to hear it, but it'll be easier to swallow if you say we're gearing up instead of every year's our year.
I don't think that's possible. I don't think it's possible, because think about it this way. If you come out and fans are going to take that, maybe this isn't right, but fans are going to take that as, okay, they're getting us ready to have a less than 6-win season. And when you're asking for more than 7, you can't swing 2 games. And I think when you really take things and you kind of break them down, it adds to the confusion as to why this couldn't be more successful. They also, I think Husker fans have started to realize that they say a lot. There's a lot of words that get thrown out and a lot of statements, strong statements, and you have to be strong. You have to truly believe in what you have as a coaching staff. But a lot of the things that frankly Matt Rule was saying over the last 2 months about resources and things like that. Okay, you said that you had it all. You said that you had exactly what you guys needed. And if you can't execute that plan, then in a year or 2 years, you already exhausted the, hey, we don't have the resources necessary. That turns at some point into, I wasn't able to get the job done.
Either you don't have the resources and you have to rely on your coaches to develop guys, or you do have the resources and you get the players that are right, or the coaches aren't developing guys. It feels like every 6 months it flips. Well, you know what? We appreciate the investment. We got all the players in that we wanted. We got our targets, and now we're going to be good. Okay, Nebraska. Now, to be fair, I think a 7-5 season in 2026 would look a lot different and feel a lot different than a 7-5 season in 2025.
Yes.
In the negative in that, okay, your third straight, essentially 7-5 year, 6-6, and back-to-back 7-5s. But with the harder schedule, maybe teams and players on the team would view it as, okay, we're building for something, right? We were better in the win and loss column, and people gave us credit for before the year. We're building to something. Let's stick it out and have someone special in 2028. But do you trust that Nebraska has put enough resources to the right positions to make that happen? If you do, okay. If Nebraska doesn't live up to the resource investment, who's it on? Is it on the players for not being as good as the coaches thought? Is it on the coaches for not getting enough out of the players? Probably some combination thereof. Or Nebraska's not getting the talent that it needs to compete. And the coaches are doing the best they can, but the clay that they have to mold just isn't up to snuff for where Nebraska needs to be to compete for, really, I think the top 5 or 6 in the Big Ten to give themselves a chance at the college football playoff coming down the stretch in November. There's just, like you said, a lot of words. Don't confuse motion with progress.
Yeah.
You can say a lot of words, you can articulate a lot, but has Matt Rule laid out a clear plan for 2026? I haven't heard one.
It's really interesting. Nebraska currently 7 transfers committed. Nebraska football has yet to announce Colandrea as he's signed. I would hope that Nebraska's learned their lesson for the most part on that stuff. But the few that Nebraska has mentioned that have signed has been Brendan Black, the former Iowa State offensive lineman, Owen Chambliss, the linebacker from San Diego State, and Will Hawthorne from Iowa State as well. Sorry, I had a brain fog there. But the other 4 that Nebraska's brought in, at least committed, A 6'3", 235-pound linebacker from Oregon State and Dexter Foster. A 5'11", 205-pound safety Dwayne McDougal Dwayne McDougal from San Diego State. And then obviously Anthony Colandrea, as well as Tree Babalade. Tree Babalade from South Carolina. So there's your 7 total. A couple of them, Nebraska football's announced as signed on the dotted line, but the other one's not quite yet. So we'll see what the future holds. I think Nebraska's in a unique spot right now because we expected this portal class to be larger. And right now it's been fairly routine, it feels like. And we said it at the start of the show regarding skill positions. Surprised to not hear a little bit more rumblings around the running back room, especially. We know Nebraska's in on a guy from UCLA and Quasi Gilmore from UCLA, a wide receiver. Finalists there are Nebraska and Washington. For that guy, he's a 4-star wide receiver out of the portal.
Washington doesn't have a quarterback.
Washington might not have a quarterback. So we'll see what happens there. But other than that, Nebraska still, we talked about it, doesn't have a defensive line coach officially named yet. You hope that there's a guy that's out there that's already agreed to it. They're just waiting to announce it. It's a very, very unique situation right now and a very important time for Nebraska.
It really is. I will say this on the portal class. I do wonder if Nebraska is going to keep running out 125-man rosters until they're forced to get down to 105, or if Nebraska is going to take some steps to get closer to 105. You have your designated student athletes that my understanding is they can remain designated student athletes until their eligibility has expired. So might still be dealing with this for a few years if there are some freshmen that remain on the roster.
Yeah.
But I wonder if Nebraska is going to keep stocking the roster with as many as they can get away with for a while, or if they have an eye to the future of, okay, how do we get down to 105 here in the next few years? Nebraska brings some names back. Nebraska certainly lost more than they've added to this point. 19, 20 guys in the portal for Nebraska with the additions that you just went through. I wonder how many more high major transfers Nebraska is going to get. Gilmer seems, like you said, down to Nebraska and Washington. Is Nebraska a program that's going to continue to get high major transfers, or is Nebraska going to have to mine kind of that mid-major ranks? And,
which is not a problem if you have shown the ability to develop guys and identify them.
And again, not that they're the same sport, but how many high major transfers did Fred Hoiberg get?
Yeah.
Not that many. Juwan Gary, transferring from that Alabama team, transferred down to Nebraska at the time. Braxton Mia, lateral move from Washington. And those worked out to varying degrees, if you will. Raleigh Wooster, right? Utah transfer. Fred Hoiberg's built the majority of his recruiting, in the transfer portal on guys coming up. But what has he done? Gotten the most out of him. Connor Season, right? Wisconsin guy as well. Not to relitigate all the transfers, but most of the best players for Fred Hoiberg have been up transfers. Guys from the mid-major ranks that they saw something translatable and got the best out of. Might be the direction Nebraska football's heading in some of these cases.
How about this for timing? Less than a minute ago, Nebraska football announces the signing of Tree Babalade from South Carolina. An offensive lineman, follows Lonnie Teasley, obviously, to the Huskers. Lonnie Teasley, Nebraska's run game coordinator there. But Tree Babalade is in Nebraska. I mean, they have done what Nebraska fans have kind of wanted them to do in some regard. They went out and spent for a couple of experienced offensive linemen in Brennan Black, but then also in Tree Babalade. So Nebraska's offensive line, still some questions maybe at left guard about where Nebraska will go there. But for the most part, you feel like the 4 out of the 5 are relatively settled in Elijah Pritchett, Justin Evans, as long as he sticks around, Brennan Black, and then Tree Babalade at right tackle there for Nebraska's offensive line. We'll see if there's somebody inside the building already that could maybe they feel good about with left guard position. But Jeep Wade, obviously in his first full season, will have quite a bit of investment there on the offensive line after a disappointing offensive line season. Year where you move on from Donovan Raiola. We'll see what direction Nebraska is able to go. And now that you have a running quarterback as well in Anthony Colandrea, we'll see how that changes the offensive line as well going forward. So there's a lot to get into. Let's go ahead and do this. Let's take an early break. When we come back, I want to make sure we have plenty of time on basketball. We want to get to a couple of things, not only Nebraska basketball related, because Austin and I have yet to really talk big picture on air about where Nebraska's at. Austin, you and I kind of talked about it off air yesterday and had some fun with it. But then also, in addition to that, Michigan, Penn State, that game last night, Penn State, the youngest team in the Big Ten, almost knocked off Goliath last night, really, honestly, to where Nebraska, could still be sitting alone at the top of the Big Ten if Penn State was able to get that done. Going into a big game Saturday for Nebraska against the Hoosiers. There's a lot to get into. We'll talk big picture Nebraska basketball when we come back here, because we were able to do a show a couple of weeks ago together, and we talked hypotheticals. Now it's time we do it again, now that we have fewer hypotheticals to talk about. We'll do that here coming up next. It's The Drive. He's Austin Norman. I'm Nick Sainert. AD is out for today, and hopefully feeling better enough to get back tomorrow. But if not, he'll probably be back on Friday. We'll step aside, come back on The Drive on 93.7 The Ticket.
$93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today. We'll see mostly sunny skies, the light breeze, and very warm temps. In the afternoon high near 64. Tonight, increasing cloud cover and light winds, below around 37. And tomorrow, rain likely throughout the day. Be breezy and cooler. The high near 42. I'm meteorologist Kyle Fletcher for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
January is your reset button. This January 10th, Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping in Lincoln is kicking off our 10-week challenge. We combine high-energy kickboxing, powerful strength training, and simple, proven nutrition to deliver real results in just 10 weeks. For a limited time, get $150 off when you enroll today. No gimmicks, just coaching, accountability, and a community that pushes you to win. Spots are limited, so don't wait. Visit fxblincoln.com and start your strongest year yet at Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping. 2 locations, South 40th and Yankee Hill, North 70th and Vine. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping, changing lives 10 weeks at a time.
Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket immediately after every Nebraska men's basketball game for 1 hour of post-game recap. The Nebraska Basketball Postgame Show is sponsored by Union Bank and Trust, John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electrical, and the Lincoln Airport on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Rick Heyman here from Sartor Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. You can count on Sartor Heyman for the very best quality, value, and customer service. When it comes to your jewelry needs, visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the Outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at sartorheyman.com, and thank you for your continued trust after all these years.
An emergency can happen any moment. Here's a few seconds to think about where you'd go. At CHI Health, we stand ready to care for any emergency. Our specialists provide expert care when you need it most and believe healing is more powerful when delivered with human kindness. When seconds matter, know CHI Health St. Elizabeth is accredited in stroke care and offers the region's only ER just for kids. Learn more at chihealth.com/St. Elizabeth Emergency.
Hey, Husker Nation. This is Todd Euler, 2-time national champion, here to talk to you about Window World Lincoln. At Window World, we specialize in replacement windows, doors, siding, and roofing. Whether you're looking to enhance the beauty of your home or increase its energy efficiency, we've got you covered. And here's the best part. We offer the best for less. Our team is dedicated to providing top quality products and exceptional service at affordable prices. We want to earn your business and make your home improvement dreams a reality. So why wait? Contact Window World Lincoln today at 464-7313 or visit our website at windowworldlincoln.com. Window World Lincoln, where quality meets affordability.
Golfing in 72 degrees and perfect conditions in Nebraska doesn't seem possible in December, but it is. Double Eagle Golf is your escape from the bone-chilling cold outside and a reason to keep the clubs out year-round. Book your holiday parties at Double Eagle Golf and make plans to join them for a New Year's Eve party. Gift cards make a great stocking stuffer for Christmas, and don't forget to look ahead to 2026 as spring leagues begin in February. That's all at Double Eagle Golf inside the Kinetic Sports Complex on West O Street. Online at doubleeagle.golf.
Bauer Underground has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know that the best workers in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and a pedigree of success. They're offering top-notch benefits, a matching 401k, and a $600 per year clothing allowance. Bauer Underground, a family-friendly company with plenty of room for advancement.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning now in our new time. We're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
If you're seeking a career with a growing company, Gaina Trucking and Excavating is hiring and looking for additions to their team. Gaina Trucking has a strong team culture, competitive pay, 401ks, and benefits like health, dental, and vision. Drivers are guaranteed 40 hours per week, even in the winter months, and are home every night. Start your career today at Gaina Trucking and Excavating. Apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
MWR, a local company of Lincoln, is proud to announce they are able to offer their own post-frame building packages in metal to anyone desiring a building, whether you're a contractor or a DIYer. They can install your building as always, and they offer multiple different rib profiles and loads of color options, including the wood grain metal at great competitive prices. You can inquire at mwrbuildingandfence.com or just draw your desired building and submit it in their Contact Us page, and they'll get back to you. Call MWR today at 402-540-8966.
This is Bill Mitchner, Executive Director of Lincoln Lighthouse. Did you know Lighthouse provides multiple programs for students such as one-on-one tutoring and mentoring, as well as pro-social skill exercises, while providing them a nourishing meal and a safe space during all months of the year, even during school breaks? Learn more or contribute to Lighthouse at lincolnlighthouse.org today.
Hey Husker Nation, this is Todd Euler, two-time national champion, here to talk to you about Window World Lincoln. At Window World, we specialize in replacement windows, doors, siding, and roofing. Whether you're looking to enhance the beauty of your home or increase its energy efficiency, we've got you covered. And here's the best part. We offer the best for less. Our team is dedicated to providing top quality products and exceptional service at affordable prices. We want to earn your business and make your home improvement dreams a reality. So why wait? Contact Window World Lincoln today at 464-7313 or visit our website at windowworldlincoln.com. Window World Lincoln, where quality meets affordability.
Back Nine Golf in South Lincoln is the premier indoor golf experience in the state. The weather in the winter months is cold, windy, and as unpredictable as a tee shot on the 450-yard par 4. With top-of-the-line full-swing simulators and a PGA teaching professional, Back Nine Golf is there to help you improve your game and lower your score. Back Nine Golf is open to the public with 24/7 access for members. Learn about Back Nine's variety of memberships today and see the facility for yourself at 7501 South 15th Street in Lincoln, just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Back Nine Golf, your premier indoor golf and events destination.
Now back to The Drive with Aaron Davis and Nick Sainert on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
I about freaked out here because I pulled up Nebraska basketball's net sheet, Austin. And I just clicked on the link that I've used before in the past, and it pulled up last year's.
Oh, golly. That's a different team sheet.
Dramatically different from where we are at right now. This one, though, just to go down memory lane, Nebraska, 54th in the net, 7-13 in the conference, quad one wins. Oregon, Creighton, Illinois, UCLA, Boise State, Northwestern. Had a lot of losses though, unfortunately, in the quad one.
Well, what you had
6 and 10,
7-13 overall in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
What 11 of those losses came in the 2 losing streaks? I think those were both in conference play.
Okay, yeah. So your losses.
Yeah, Iowa, Purdue, Rutgers, Maryland, USC, Wisconsin, all in a row.
Yep.
And then Penn State, Michigan, Minnesota, Ohio State, and Iowa.
Yeah. Yeah, that was unfortunate. You remember last year at the start of the year, you got St. Mary's, and you felt like you probably could have won that game.
Yeah.
In the Pentagon.
Mm-hmm.
You did fine in quad 2, 7-2 in quad 2. You lost a couple in quad 3 games, but you were able to sweep quad 4, obviously. But this year, instead, how about we switch?
Let's fast forward.
2026. This year instead, let's go Nebraska. Team net, conference net, that's what I'm looking for. Team net. Nebraska currently ranks 11th in the net. We know this. They are 15-0, and they are in the top 10. Big game on Saturday against Indiana. Austin, here's the deal, man. I've referenced Bart Torvik on the show before. I'm sure you have on your show as well.
I'm a fan.
But so Bart has Nebraska projected to finish 25-6, 14-6 in the Big Ten Conference, which is actually different from what it was before the Ohio State game on Monday. He actually had previously Nebraska to finish 24-7 before the Ohio State game on Monday. The one game that's flipped, you might ask, it was not the Ohio State game. He actually projected that Nebraska was going to win that game by 1 point. It is the home matchup against Illinois on February 1st. Nebraska now projected, according to Bart Torvik, to win that game versus lose that game. But nonetheless, we were talking during the break. You're kind of feeling like Nebraska is a 4-5 seed, potentially a 5. Mm-hmm. I feel more confident about them being a 4 when the day comes.
And some of that's splitting hairs, right? Because a 4 seed could be number 13 or a 5 seed could be number 20.
Yeah.
And that to me is kind of the range. I mean, I could see Nebraska being a borderline top 15 team, but if you're borderline top 15, that's where you settle in. You're one of the last couple 4s or one of the first couple 5s, depending on resume, which Nebraska's got a pretty darn good one right now.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, depending on vibes, as much as you might want to, push it to the side, you do take into account the fact that the committee will look at the way you've been playing and kind of the conversation around you, especially when you're Nebraska men's basketball. So I'm not trying to, throw cold water on anyone's parade by any sense of the imagination. This Nebraska team is a tournament team. They're playing well. They're going to have a really good chance to win at least one game in the NCAA tournament. But 16 games left. Nebraska has found ways to win games, and that's a skill. I worry Nebraska's living on the edge a little bit too much. They're certainly not as dominant as the record would indicate. So I'm just worried that there are going to be a couple games in there where maybe Nebraska's just on the wrong side of one of these close margins where they can play well enough and be in the game. It just doesn't go Nebraska's way. They will win more than they lose over the next 16 games. I think if you take 10-6 on its face, that feels like a little bit of a letdown. 11-5. I think if you get to 26-5, that's huge.
Yeah.
But this team won't bottom out. They're not going to collapse. I'm not at all worried about that.
Which is so bizarre for us for Husker basketball.
Right.
Because
especially after last year.
Because every single season, too, there has been one.
Yeah.
There's been a streak of 4 or 5 losses in a row.
Yeah. But the mark of a mature program, the mark of a good team is how do you cut the bad runs short and extend the long ones, right? Nebraska has done such an incredible job of extending the good run to start the season, now to 15 consecutive wins, 4-0 in the Big Ten. Maybe winning close for this Nebraska team is more of a skill than I give it credit for. But I think we've seen borne out across sports throughout time that the more close games you play, the more close games you win and lose, right? It just follows. So Nebraska will end up in the low to mid-20s in wins. I'm very confident about that. Nebraska will end the regular season with single-digit losses. And then it comes down to where do you drop?
What a crazy conversation.
Seriously. And which ones do you drop? Which ones do you win? And how impressive do you look? Because that's something that, 11th in the net, top 10 in the AP poll, that's good. It absolutely is. But you do got to get some style points, which is hard to do in conference play. Nebraska missed some opportunities for style points, maybe like Iowa did, right? Iowa has destroyed the Quad 4 competition that it's played and ranks ahead of Nebraska in some of these metrics just because they've made it look prettier than Nebraska. And, does it matter? No, at the end of the day, Nebraska's won more games and Nebraska's the higher ranked team. So Nebraska's had, probably the more successful season. But when it comes down to tournament seeding, who you beat, how you beat them absolutely comes into play. So it would be nice to see Nebraska, roll up some style points against a Penn State or a Rutgers on the road. Maybe take advantage of a struggling Oregon team and win that one by double digits. Winning close games is nice. It's fun. It's good to prove that you can do it. But okay, now if you're a top 10 team, Nebraska, the next step for you is beat someone by double digits in conference play. It's got to be there.
It would be, incredibly impressive. Obviously, if Nebraska is able to go on the road this Saturday and beat Indiana per se, let's say this by 11. It'd be incredible if they just put out doubt. I thought for a while there, Ohio State was going to be that day. The way Nebraska came out, I didn't expect Rink Mast and Price Sanford to continue to struggle throughout the course of the entire 40 minutes. So I thought Ohio State might have been that opportunity for them.
They had one, and this is where I think we credit Ohio State more so than hold anything against Nebraska. Ohio State has not been a great defensive team all year, and they showed some pride in that one. They really did. Nebraska was rolling through the first 8-12 minutes of that game. Ohio State said, no, enough of this. We're going to make it harder on you. And this is an Ohio State team that's gotten down double digits and come back before. It's a desperate team still without a quad 1 win. Felt like they kind of recognized their season was starting to be on the line, right? They were hearing the footsteps. They're faint, but you could still hear them for Ohio State. For Nebraska to look that good, for Nebraska to gut it out the way they did, number one, it could have been the game that Nebraska ran away from if Ohio State had quiet quit.
Yes.
Or number two, it could have been the game that Ohio State, kind of saved its season. Nebraska's into the top 10 for the first time in 60 years. They go on the road against a hungry, desperate team. They play well to start it, and then they just kind of malaise their way through the rest of it. As easily as Nebraska could have stepped on the gas and accelerated, the brakes could have been slammed and come to a screeching halt. Neither one happened. Nebraska gets a run-of-the-mill, one-possession Big Ten road win. Good on them.
Similar to what a top 10 team should do.
Yeah.
Like that's the other part of this conversation that I think is important for us to mention, is that as accustomed as we are to whenever Nebraska football, Nebraska basketball is ranked, right? Even women's basketball at times is ranked. They will go on the road, or it seems like it always comes after a home stretch when they've been able to get some wins under their belts, and now they got to go on the road and they got to prove it, right? And it's tough for any team to go on the road, whether it's football, basketball, women's basketball, it doesn't matter. And for Nebraska not to lay an egg. Like, I think that's what throughout Illinois, through even the neutral site games, through now against Ohio State, and I feel like it's less against Indiana. Husker fans are just waiting for them to lay an egg. Like, and I just don't see that coming. And not, maybe I should say this. I don't see it happening because of Nebraska. I see it happening because they might run into a good Indiana team, or they might run into a national champion contender in Michigan. That is why they might lose by double digits, not because of Nebraska not being a competent basketball team.
Oh, absolutely. Indiana fascinates me, and we'll have time to talk more about that one over the course of the next couple of days. Michigan also fascinates me. But to your point about, Nebraska not taking the show on the road in other sports, we can just look at other college basketball. UCF knocks off Kansas. They get into the top 25. They've got to go on the road. They lose to Oklahoma State, a team that, played pretty well to start the year, didn't get the respect, dropped a couple, and then had a chance to knock off a top 25 team at home. Oklahoma State did that last night, right? How many times has Nebraska been that number 25 team squeaking in that then can't go on the road and validate? And even in the Big Ten, look at Iowa, into the top 20, ranked number 19. They go struggle on the road. They make it close at the end, but Minnesota takes one more play. They win the game, ends up by 3 points there. Other teams this year have stumbled when they've had their chance to go on the road and validate in some of these moments that are maybe bigger for the other team than for them.
Yeah.
Nebraska found ways to avoid that trap, right? They found ways to live up to the top 15 ranking against Michigan State. They found a way to live up to the top 10 ranking against Ohio State. That's not a given. I saw a text on our last postgame show that said Nebraska's been playing lights out.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would go that far. I don't know the last time we've seen a complete 40 minutes.
This doesn't feel like the ceiling.
It doesn't. And of course, things get harder in conference play.
Yes.
Right. If this is the peak of Nebraska men's basketball for this season, they've proven that what they can do is good enough to win games. Sure, teams are going to win some 4-minute segments. I'm not saying Nebraska is going to shoot 100% from everywhere and allow 0 points all the time.
Yeah.
But Nebraska's spacing hasn't been as good. The shooting hasn't been as good. They've had some sloppy turnovers in the last few games. But what's important is they found ways to win anyways.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not going to hear any that, well, do they need to take a loss before March, so they can learn to handle adversity. You always like to win rather than lose. Being able to learn through victories, I don't think is inflating this team's ego at all, right? It's not a young team that has its first taste of success and they're, living high, living free. It's going to come crashing down when they get the reality check. No, I think this team is about that life, is about handling business. And it's just better for the resume and better for them. They're able to learn through winning instead of having to put their, veteran resolve on display, handling adversity through losses.
I'm trying to look up to see if they have, so I'm trying to see if they have the blank bracket up for, let's see. Okay. So let's just say hypothetically, according to Bart Torvik, because we're in the land of hypotheticals, Nebraska's 15-0. Let's say they finish exactly what Bart Torvik projects. 25-6, 14-6 in the conference.
What are the 6 losses? Do you have those up?
I do. Those 6 losses are Indiana, Michigan, Purdue, Iowa. That's the only 4 that they're projected to lose in. But say they swing 2 more. They lose 2 more. Is that fine with you?
Yeah, I think it's within the realm of reasonable. Here's the thing. If you end up splitting with Illinois and both road teams win, that's kind of funky. If you split with Iowa and both home teams win, okay. I think Nebraska's a better team than Iowa, but
I do too.
They're just so different. And being on the road, Nebraska hasn't played well in Iowa.
And you and I are both Ben McCollum fans.
We are. And again, if you split, that's not the end of the world.
No.
Right. That's fine.
Take care of home.
Take care of home. Losing to Purdue, no shame in that, but I do think Nebraska matches up fine with Purdue. So I wouldn't give that one. Indiana's such a high variance game that one could go either way at this point. Yeah, I mean, I think if you end the regular season, like we said, 10-6, 11-5, that's fine. You did exactly what you were expected to.
Yeah. So with that would put Nebraska tied for, using last year's standings, tied for second. Okay, so there was a 3-way tie for second place in the Big Ten standings last year with that 14-6 record.
Behind 17-3 Michigan State.
Yeah.
That still blows my mind.
Yeah.
But another story for another.
So what you might ask, okay, what does that do? The Big Ten tournament this year starts on Tuesday because all 18 teams make the tournament. And this is where the value and the excitement truly comes in. Because, the bottom 4 seeds have to play on Tuesday. And the likelihood that somebody makes it from Tuesday to Friday is so slim. But Nebraska wouldn't have to play if they're a top 4 seed, which is firmly within reach. A top 4 seed.
Dare I say expectation at this point?
I think so. I think it's okay to say that.
Get a double bye?
Yeah. You don't play till Friday. Hypothetically, if you are the number 4 seed, you would play the winner of the 5 and more than likely 6 if they just go chalk. Or excuse me, 5 and 12 if they go chalk. And you would play 1:30 in the afternoon on Friday. If you're the 2 seed, you play at 5:30 at night on Friday. And then the championship game is Sunday. Yeah. Can you win 2? Can you win 2 games? One of them in where you'll be favored.
Yeah. Go play for a Big Ten title.
That is firmly within reach.
It is. The reason, too, it's important to point out just how important the double bye can be in basketball is I think back to Tim Miles' final year. Nebraska grinds it out against Rutgers. Nebraska grinds it out against a top 25 Maryland team. And Nebraska had Wisconsin. I don't know if I want to say dead to rights, but Nebraska had every opportunity to win that game against Wisconsin. Down 5 at the break. You feel, okay, is this a storybook run for this team that was decimated by injuries, that wasn't itself, that found itself? Nebraska just ran out of gas late. Nebraska only played 6 guys in that game. That's how few. The 6th man that game was Johnny Trueblood. But think about this, Nick.
Wow.
Glenn Watson, James Palmer Jr., Isaiah Roby all played 40 minutes in their 3rd game in 3 days against Wisconsin. Tanner Borkart played 22, Thor Bjarnason 30, and Johnny Trueblood got 28 minutes. That's why it's going to be so important for this Nebraska team, even though you tout their depth, to have, essentially from Sunday to potentially Friday off. That's a relatively normal Big Ten week. That's essentially what you're doing, playing Monday and then playing Saturday. That's fine. You can live with that. You can work with that.
We're getting told on the text line by Kent, we're putting the cart before the horse here. I don't know if we are as much anymore. You're essentially halfway through the year.
Oh no, I think Kent is the one putting the cart before the horse.
He's the one putting the cart before the horse. Okay, sorry,
Nebraska versus Iowa State in the NCAA tournament.
Okay, but to that point, I don't think this is wrong of us to discuss nowadays, though. Like, this is what we are in the bulk of conference play, or you're about to enter the bulk of conference play. Sorry about that, Kent. And you are right where you belong. Like, and you keep proving to, I think, not only themselves, but also everybody that's watching that they belong. And hopefully, if they get the job done Saturday against the Hoosiers, which would be a more impressive win for me than even Ohio State on Monday. Do you fall in line with that? You've played better at Assembly Hall, but I think the coaching staff at Indiana is better.
Coaching staff at Indiana is better. I think Ohio State's the worst matchup.
Okay,
So,
well, there you go.
Similar but different.
Okay. But either way, if you win, man, you talk about potentially a top 7 team, top 8 next week on Monday when the polls come out. And then you look at, somebody asked on the text line earlier who we think Nebraska's first loss would be. Here's the deal. You feel really good about winning Oregon, Northwestern, Washington after Indiana. 19-0. Can you win one on the road at Minnesota to be 20-0 going into Michigan? Even at worst, going into Michigan if you're 19-1. It's real stuff, guys. These are real conversations we're having. And they're not just hypotheticals way before November. So there you go. Let's step aside. Let's close out the show coming up next.
An emergency can happen any moment. Here's a few seconds to think about where you'd go. At CHI Health, we stand ready to care for any emergency. Our specialists provide expert care when you need it most and believe healing is more powerful when delivered with human kindness. When seconds matter, know CHI Health St. Elizabeth is accredited in stroke care and offers the region's only ER just for kids. Learn more at chihealth.com/St. Elizabeth Emergency.
This is Bill Mitchner, Executive Director of Lincoln Lighthouse. Did you know Lighthouse provides multiple programs for students such as one-on-one tutoring and mentoring, as well as pro-social skill exercises, while providing them a nourishing meal and a safe space during all months of the year, even during school breaks? Learn more or contribute to Lighthouse at lincolnlighthouse.org today.
Bauer Underground has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know that the best workers in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and a pedigree of success. They're offering top-notch benefits, a matching 401k, and a $600 per year clothing allowance. Bauer Underground, a family-friendly company with plenty of room for advancement.
If you're seeking a career with a growing company, Gaina Trucking and Excavating is hiring and looking for additions to their team. Gaina Trucking has a strong team culture, competitive pay, 401ks, and benefits like health, dental, and vision. Drivers are guaranteed 40 hours per week, even in the winter months, and are home every night. Start your career today at Gaina Trucking and Excavating. Apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Hey Husker Nation, this is Todd Euler, two-time national champion, here to talk to you about Window World Lincoln. At Window World, we specialize in replacement windows, doors, siding, and roofing. Whether you're looking to enhance the beauty of your home or increase its energy efficiency, we've got you covered. And here's the best part. We offer the best for less. Our team is dedicated to providing top quality products and exceptional service at affordable prices. We want to earn your business and make your home improvement dreams a reality. So why wait? Contact Window World Lincoln today at 464-7313 or visit our website at windowworldlincoln.com. Window World Lincoln, where quality meets affordability.
Anderson Ford in Lincoln has 2 convenient locations, which means 2 times the customer service, 2 times the inventory, and 2 times the ability to get you in the car of your dreams. Whether you visit us on the north side or the south side, you'll find more selection and a team that's always on your side. When you're looking for a better way to buy your next Ford, visit Anderson Ford in Lincoln, where exceptional service meets unbeatable selection.
Golfing in 72 degrees and perfect conditions in Nebraska doesn't seem possible in December, but it is. Double Eagle Golf is your escape from the bone-chilling cold outside and a reason to keep the clubs out year-round. Book your holiday parties at Double Eagle Golf and make plans to join them for a New Year's Eve party. Gift cards make a great stocking stuffer for Christmas, and don't forget to look ahead to 2026 as spring leagues begin in February. That's all at Double Eagle Golf inside the Kinetic Sports Complex on West O Street. Online at doubleeagle.golf.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs, from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197. Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine. There are so many realtors in Lincoln and Omaha, but don't get overwhelmed by all the no-names, plus all the different companies. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Real Estate is your go-to option, whether buying or selling residential, luxury, leasing, investment properties, or commercial property, small or large. Ben's team offers decades of experience, unbeatable customer service, and promises to fully protect your interests throughout the entire transaction. Call 402-419-6309 for all your real estate needs. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group of BHHS Ambassador Real Estate. 93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize to participate in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the KNTK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
Now back to The Drive with Aaron Davis and Nick Sainert on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back into the show one final time here before we hand things off to Lionheart Live, Anthony Smith. Make sure you stick around for that one from 11 to 1. And then obviously Bach in the Black Shirt from 1 to 3. And then Old School coming your way at 3 p.m. Nick Sainert, Austin Norman. Austin, appreciate you for hanging out with me throughout the course of the day here. Quick segment here before we hand things off to the guys. It was made known that Ole Miss is going to be without 2 coaches in the upcoming playoff game. Pete Golden, the head coach for the Rebels, announced that the wide receiver coach, George McDonald, and I'm blanking on the tight ends coach, but both of them are not going to be available and with the team. He noted, look, LSU has 35 players in the portal, and they have a job to do down in Baton Rouge, and they're not going to be with Ole Miss. So the wide receiver coach and tight ends coach also Joe Cox. Thank you. I kept wanting to say Joe Judge, and I knew that was not the right one. Joe Cox is not going to be with the team, and Cox also the co-offensive coordinator for the Ole Miss Rebels. But Charlie Weiss keeps on going back and forth. He's going to be available. So there you go. Yeah,
I don't know if Charlie Weiss is getting back and forth much.
Probably
anymore.
not.
Didn't really get back and forth much. In
not a whole lot.
Other coaching.
So Charlie Weiss had to shut down some NFL rumors the other day. So people were freaking out in Baton Rouge about that. I don't know. Austin, you said something about, you were like, I hope this doesn't become the norm, that we have coaches going back and forth between these things. I don't think we will, simply because this was such a unique case to where a team like Ole Miss that's capable of winning a couple of games in the playoff is also moving on to a new staff or to a new school. A lot of it's going to be the Tulane, where you double back and forth between Florida and then Tulane. But for the most part, I don't think we have to worry about this being the norm going forward.
Will it become more normal if or when the playoff expands?
That might become a little more interesting, because
right. And then you're like, say Alabama loses in the first round or whatever, and their guy is still coaching in the Elite Eight or what have you.
Absolutely.
Something like that. But again, I think some of it is driven by the force of personality that is Lane Kiffin.
Oh, sure.
So I think that's a feather in your cap when it's probably going to stay unique.
Yeah. So we'll see. Nebraska obviously continuing to try to bring in a couple of guys in the portal. I would imagine some news comes out over the next couple of days, potentially today. These things kind of move fast. They continue to move fast. Once again, Nebraska announced the signings. So official, Tree Babalade is officially signed. So Nebraska's offensive line starting to get ironed out a little bit there with Brennan Black and then Tree Babalade.
A couple portal returnees as well for Nebraska. Braylon Prude and Larry Tarver are back with the team.
Larry Tarver's a guy that I think is going to be valuable for Nebraska going forward.
Miami guy, right?
He was a Miami guy. He flipped from Maryland to Nebraska on signing day. Was kind of an under-recruited guy coming out of high school, and was somebody that later in the process Nebraska really liked. And they were able to get him away from Mike Loxley in Maryland. And so that was a guy he redshirted obviously this last year and stuff. And so I'm surprised. I don't think it's bad for me to say it. Now there's still 9 days left in the portal being open and where guys can enter. I'm surprised there hasn't been some bigger names that have entered. Nebraska's for the most part staved off some of the crucial ones. That I think there were some concerns about, and simply put, it might just be they went out and tried to get money and realized that their market wasn't as large and valuable as they maybe thought or would have hoped it was. And then that stuff happens, and Nebraska can take advantage of that and look at it as another year of an opportunity to prove, hey, we know how to use you and we can develop you, and this is the place for you. And so,
are you thinking wide receiver room when you say that?
I am. Yeah, and running back room. In all honesty,
sure.
I'm surprised we haven't seen a little bit of attrition from the running back room.
Fair. And to be fair, we're only 5 days in.
We're only 5 days in.
Through,
so we'll see. There's still plenty of time. And as we learned with Kenny Minchie, you can never be so sure that things are going to just be staying put. So, all right, let's step aside. We're out of here. Thanks to Austin Norman. Hopefully AD back tomorrow. We'll keep you posted on that. But he's continuing to be on the mend, so we keep on rooting on AD from home. So AD hopefully back at some point this week. Appreciate you guys hanging out with us. All the input on the text line was great, as well as the YouTube stream. Appreciate you guys over there. Make sure you stay tuned. Lionheart Live, DP, Bach, and Anthony Smith with you coming up next.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports